I'm Marcus Clements with Clements & King Insurance. We now sell final expense life insurance for seniors. Life insurance available through age 85. Guaranteed acceptance. Call Clements & King Insurance for all your health and life insurance needs.
Came to me and said, why don't we do something special on Halloween to honor those people who have not survived in memory of those people who have not survived their breast cancer fight, and in honor of those people who are still fighting the good fight and have overcome that. So we definitely wanted to be a part of that. As you know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Many of you who have family members who have either overcome this illness or are still struggling with it, and we'll get you to tell us a little bit about them in just a minute. But we have two guest speakers for you today. Our first one is Kelly Skaggs, and Kelly is going to tell you a little bit about where she works, and then she's going to share her story with you. And after her, we've got another speaker, so just stay right there. Kelly, come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Absolutely. First, I just want to say that I'm so glad to see Pam back here. I don't know how long you've been back, but it was just news to me not long ago, so it's good to see you here. And I want to say thank you too for inviting me and asking me to come and be a part of this special day. My name is Kelly Skaggs, and I'm a social worker here in town, and I work with WDIG as their social worker. So that's who I am, and that's what I do. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with dialysis. Maybe have been a dialysis patient yourself or know someone who is on dialysis. It has its own challenges. But I also wanted to share a little something about myself. I'm a breast cancer survivor. 1 year in July made my 1 year. Thank you. Yay. And I want to tell you my story. May of 2016, I went to Fairview Park for a routine mammogram. Dr. Kaveri is my gynecologist, and it was 3 years past due for me to have one. So shame on me. But I went and got the mammogram done. Super nice ladies down there at Fairview Park. If you've ever had the pleasure of going there, they're wonderful. A couple of days after I had the mammogram, I got a call saying that it was abnormal and I needed to come back and have another one done. And immediately I thought about my Aunt Debbie and my great Aunt Thelma. And my Aunt Debbie is a breast cancer survivor, and my great Aunt Thelma passed away from her diagnosis of breast cancer. After I had the second mammogram, I also had an ultrasound of my breast, and that is where they found the tumor. It was very small. Dr. Andy Bedingfield is the surgeon that removed my tumor, and he said, "Kelly, it's the size of a butter bean." And so that's how I found out that I had breast cancer. Dr. Bedingfield telling me that I had the tumor the size of a butter bean, which meant it was small. You know, it could have been the size of a sweet potato, or it could have been the size of a peach. But it was the size of a butter bean, and for that I'm grateful, because that means it was early detection. Dr. Vias became my oncologist, and after going through some tests, they determined that although I did have some positive lymph nodes, I wasn't going to have chemotherapy, so that was a blessing as well. But I did have radiation, and I had radiation for about 7 weeks. Now, throughout all of this, I was surrounded by amazing people. I was surrounded by my family, my parents, my brothers, good friends, wonderful medical staff, doctors, nurses. And without them, and I mean all of them, I don't believe that I would have had as well of an outcome as I had. So what I want to say, aside from what I just said, is that early detection is possible when you get regular checkups. If you don't get that mammogram, then they can't see what they need to see. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, that's for sure, but for so many people, it has been life-saving, and I am one of those people. So the other thing that I want to say is that it's important to know your history. Know what your cancer family history is. One of the things that I was able to do throughout this process was go to a genetic counselor. I had never gone to one before. I had heard about them. I didn't really know what they did, but really what they do is they just sit you down, and for about an hour or two, they just ask you all kinds of medical questions. They ask questions about your mom's side of the family and your dad's side of the family. And when we were through, it was really kind of solemn, to be honest with you, thinking about how many people on both sides of my family have had different forms of cancer. But knowledge is power, and the more we know, the more we can do, and the more we can prevent. So get your mammograms, make sure that you're going to the doctor on a regular basis. If you have daughters, granddaughters, nieces, cousins, second cousins, any female that is near and dear to you in your life, make sure that they do this very simple process of getting these mammograms and making sure that you go yearly to your doctor and take care of yourself, because this is the only body that we're given, and we have to do our best to take care of it. So again, I thank you guys for letting me come and share my story, and I just look forward to many more years of good health.
I'm 2 years in June, cancer-free. So much of what Kelly said is similar to mine. Mine was caught very early. I would not have caught it if it hadn't been for my mammogram. People say, listen to your body, but my body was not telling me anything. I mean, other than I was 50 years old and little aches and pains that you don't listen to sometimes, but my body was not telling me anything. My body was telling me I'm fine. I had been widowed several years before, so I just knew that I had to raise my children kind of by myself. And I had no other choice but to live for another 50 years. So when I got my cancer diagnosis, it was quite a shock. It was not in the plan, and most of the time it's not. I had gone for a regular screening mammogram, and of course it came back abnormal, just like Kelly's. And we did the ultrasound, which came back, of course, that there was something. And what I didn't realize before is how much they pay attention to previous mammograms that you have. A lot of times they'll go back and they'll look, and a lot of times what they have to go by is, hey, that wasn't there last year, or that wasn't there 2 years ago. So it's so important even not to skip 1 year, because they go by previous years. And like I said, there was no lumps found. My body was not telling me I was sick, anything like that. So for me to find it that early, and it was stage 1, I did not have any lymph node activity, so I was very blessed. I did not have to have any chemo or radiation, thank goodness. But at the same time, with breast cancer, you know, there's these different stages of breast cancer. There's these different positive, triple negative, but all you hear is breast cancer. I mean, that's all you hear. I guess just how important it is to get your regular. After my husband passed away, it was literally, I was only 40, and mammograms, I don't think they like to start them till maybe, unless you have it in your family, and I had none in my family. No breast cancer. I hardly had much cancer, so it was, you know, it just wasn't even in my mind to be thinking. And I went 10 years without going to an OB or anything. I just thought, you know, my husband's gone. I'm just, you know, you still have your children to take care of and everything, but you're just not thinking like you're supposed to. You have to think for the future. You have to think for taking care of your body, taking care of yourself. So when I went back my first time, I actually felt lumps in that breast. At that time, they took them out and they were benign. It was nothing. That was the same breast that my cancer came back in 1 year later. So 1 year later, with no signs of a lump or anything, the cancer was there. It had not been there the year before. So that's how fast it was there, and that's how fast in the next year. And they said if I had waited until I actually felt the lumps, it may have been a lot further along. So I was very blessed. Like Kelly said, we only have this body. We take care of it the best we can. We go to the doctor. You know, try to take care of ourselves. I went through I don't know if Kelly did this, but with one of the first things I did was I felt guilt because, okay, up until this point, I've not had breast cancer in my family. Now my children, they're going to have to worry about that now. So they did the genetic testing and everything to see if, you know, and that's something you're also put on top of having the breast cancer diagnosis. Now my children, my girls and my boy, has to worry about my mom had cancer, my sister had cancer, so it's come into our family. So you go through so many emotions and so many things go through your mind. But I love the fact that this Halloweeny pink, I just love this. I mean, people say every time you see a pink cancer, does it depress you? Does it? Not to me, because it does. If it makes one person stop and say, let me go get my mammogram this year. You know, it's been a couple of years, let me go take care of my body. I think it's wonderful. I do. And it really got me through a lot. And like Kelly, if it were not for my family and my friends and my coworkers, I just don't know what I would have done. Again, I thank you all for inviting me today. This is awesome. Hope everybody has a happy Halloween, and everybody please get your mammograms and listen to your body. Thank y'all.
I'm Dr. Manuel Vega from Dublin-Macon Cardiology. I've been in the same office in the campus of Fairview Park Hospital since 2004. I usually market myself as being Lawrence County only cardiology group that's available 24 hours, 7 days a week. What it means is I live in town. I live probably 5 minutes from the hospital. This is different from some of the other cardiologists in the area, which mostly reside or live in, probably the closest place will be Macon, Georgia, which is about an hour away. On any given day, my office is open and a patient may come in and see myself or see my PA or my nurse practitioner and actually get an answer immediately than having to wait for weeks or days or waiting until that doctor has another rotation locally. The difference in having a local cardiologist, especially a person with all the credentials and all the boards, is that you get excellent care and you get it locally. I don't have a mission statement, but my statement is go through life and touch people positively and make a difference in somebody else's life. That's how I practice and that's how I live.
Just wanted to share a few facts with you about breast cancer. And before I do that, though, I hope that this encourages you. I'm just going to be truthfully honest with you right now. I am a year and a half behind on my mammogram, and I'm going to call my gynecologist and I'm going to get my mammogram set up. So this has convicted me to do this today. And also, check yourselves. You can do a self-breast exam every month. You can check yourself for lumps. You know, don't be scared. That's how a lot of women find out that they do have cancer. They actually feel the lump themselves. So check yourself, you know, often for any kind of abnormalities. And if you don't feel like something's right, it's just like these two ladies have told us, Dina and Kelly have told us. Listen, always listen to your gut. Listen to it. It's trying to tell you something. Make sure you go to your doctor every year, and I'm going to call mine tomorrow morning to get mine done. In the United States, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. And I would say that there's probably, 40, 50 ladies in here. That means there's probably 6 to 7 of us that is going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. 6 to 7 in this room is a lot. Again, let's go and have these breast exams done. Breast cancer is the second leading cause of death among women. The second leading cause of death among women. That's scary too. And with early detection, it can be caught, and we can fix that. We can make that number go down if we'll take care of ourselves. A man's lifetime risk of breast cancer is 1 in about 1,000. 1 in about 1,000, where a woman is 1 out of 8 women. But men still can get breast cancer. About 2,240 new cases of invasive breast cancer were expected to be diagnosed in men back in 2013. 2,000 people, that's a lot of people too. That's still a lot of people. You know, I just hope that this Pinkoween party has brought awareness to breast cancer. And this is something I hope that we can do every year. I'd like to see us do this annually every year as a reminder. It's time to go get your breast exam if you haven't already gotten it done. May we all keep that reminder. Talk to your doctors. I know that there's a nurse practitioner that comes out here. If you're not, you know, comfortable asking anyone else, ask Shakita that comes out here. Show me how to do a self-breast exam. Ask her to show you how. If you're unsure, ask her. I know she would be glad to show you how. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. If it saves your life and saves your health, don't be embarrassed.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What you just witnessed today was a great program here at Addington Place. We had 2 wonderful speakers speaking about their life and their experiences and how they have dealt with breast cancer and how they've overcome. Now it's your opportunity to meet some of these gorgeous gals here. And this one right here, Ms. Hope Woodruff, who's been chopping at the bit to share with all of you. She's been telling me to let's get on with it already. And now it's time. How are you, Ms. Hope?
Well, I'm just terrific.
Good to see you.
Thank you, and it's good to be here.
Amen, it is. Now, Ms. Hope, why don't you share with the community some things about you? Tell us about you and your family, where you grew up, and the things that you did.
Well, I came to Benton House, which then became Addington Place, I think, from Decatur, Georgia, and lived there around Atlanta for almost 20 years and loved it. And I have 2 boys, an older boy, David, and a younger boy, Timothy, and I enjoy them. My husband passed away several years ago, and I surely do miss him. But and I was a preschool teacher, and I had a grand time with the children, and they had a grand time with me. I think about a big hill that was in front of the building, and I told them we were going to roll down that hill. And so we all got at the top, and I said, 1, 2, 3, go. And we started rolling down that hill, and they loved it, and I loved it too.
Oh my goodness. I remember as a kid doing all that kind of stuff. So much fun. I bet you were a fun pre-K teacher.
I was, and they enjoyed me, and I enjoyed them.
How many years did you teach?
21.
21 years. And then you got sons. Are you a grandmother yet?
Oh, I surely am, and a great-grandmother.
Great-grand.
Yes.
How do you stay so young?
I just keep talking.
If you can hear in the background, I think that's like her fan club, the hecklers that you're listening to.
Kinda. This group is especially, that group's pretty close.
And you know, we were, today they also gave out these beautiful ornaments for survivors. And were you all some of the survivors?
Yes, I have 2 Hope ornaments.
Oh, wow.
And so I am a survivor.
Wow. How many years has it been for you?
I don't even know. That's why I'm here.
Well, you know, when you listened to the lady speak today, did any of it ring true for you, or did it bring back some of those memories?
Well, of course, some, because you remember the day that you felt in your breast, and it didn't seem right, but it didn't seem wrong.
Right.
And so I went to the doctor, of course, and they did a sonogram or whatever they call it.
Right.
And they discovered that I had a malignancy in my breast, which was shocking because I didn't have much booby.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Do you have much now?
I don't have hardly any now. I'm telling you, you could take a picture of me and it'd be empty.
It's not that kind of show, Miss Hope, so we're going to have to use that for another
show.
Another show.
All right.
But you know what? It's like when you, and ladies' stories are different, but it still brought something that remained true to your remembrance of when you first discovered it. And so here you are today. You're a survivor. You've got friends here, your family.
And laughing.
And laughing. And laughter is such a medicine.
Absolutely. And I try to spend a great deal of time laughing and with my buddies over here, and they can laugh too, let me tell you.
Well, we're going to meet some of them in just a minute.
Good.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Miss Hope.
Well, thank
you. have
you.
a great personality.
I did want to tell you they took that thing out, though, at
Yeah.
the hospital.
That's good.
And I didn't have to put up with it.
There you go. There you go.
And the Lord looked after me.
And he's still looking after you.
Amen to that.
All right. Continue to have fun. Continue to live life to the fullest. And don't forget to continue laughing.
I do that, and I thank you for that advice and suggestions as I continue the road of life.
There you go.
Okay.
This is Miss Hope Woodruff, ladies and gentlemen, continuing the road of life.
There are many ways of doing business today.
Hello?
Call centers, mobile apps.
Right away.
But when it comes to what really matters, our way is pretty simple. To be there when you need us most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Orr Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
We've just been having such a great time here at Addington Place, getting the opportunity to meet some of the residents and, of course, finding out that some of them are survivors. And we've got this beauty with us. How are you, Miss Mary?
I'm just fine.
Good to see you. Share with us, okay? Tell us about your life story.
I grew up on a farm in Cherokee County, 50 miles, 50 miles north of Atlanta, a place called Ball Ground.
Ball Ground.
Most people never heard of it. But anyway, it was a good place to grow up. And I had a good family, had a mother and father, and had two sisters and a brother.
Where did you fall in that?
Pardon?
Were you the oldest or were you one of the younger ones?
I was one of the younger ones.
Okay.
And had a wonderful life. Enjoyed living on a farm. I did all those things that people do on farms.
A lot of hard work for sure.
Yeah, like picking cotton and chopping cotton and
My goodness.
all those things. But
Milking a cow.
yeah, I milked a cow too.
Did you really?
I did. My father had a dairy at one time.
Now listen, that's not my voice you're hearing. That is actually the other guest we had. That's our audience speaking right there. So Miss Mary, so you did a lot of hard work.
I did.
And you wound up getting married, you had kids, is that right?
Right. Had 3 children. Had a son and 2 daughters.
Are you a grandmother yet?
Pardon?
Are you a grandmother yet?
Yes, I am. And couldn't have had better children.
Oh, wow.
And one of them lives in Macon. He's a landscaper.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter is living here now. One of my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
My other daughter's living in Orange Park, Florida. She's a school teacher.
Bet you're so proud of them.
Yeah, so proud of them. They're just wonderful children. Never had a minute's problem with them.
Oh, my Lord. That's a mother's prayer.
Yeah.
And so, we were talking about you being a survivor. Do you remember when you first found out?
Found out that I had cancer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I sure do. I was going to a doctor in Macon. We had just gotten married, and my husband and I had moved to Macon, Georgia, and he was going to Mercer University to law school.
Right.
And I was going to a family doctor, and he was examining me one day, and he said, "Miss Douglas, have you ever had any problems with your breast or anything?" And I said, "Not really." So anyway, he did all these tests, and he said, "Well, I hate to inform you, but you've got breast cancer."
Oh, wow.
And so anyway, he said, "We're going to have to do something about that." And of course, we ended up removing the growth
Right.
and removing my breast.
Wow.
And,
How many years ago was that?
Oh, it was many years ago now. But thank the Lord, I've never had a minute's problem.
Oh, wow.
Not a minute's problem.
And that's such a blessing.
Yeah, such a great blessing.
And so we're glad to have you here. Thank you for sharing with us, okay?
But anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway, my husband went on and got a law degree, and he became a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved to Dublin, Georgia. And when we moved to Dublin, Georgia, he went to Mercer University
Right.
to get his law degree. And I taught school at one time while I was there, and did other jobs that I could do because we had to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, after Dub finished law school, he went to Dublin, Georgia.
This little town here.
Yeah, and became a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Went and practiced with Mr. Paul Jones Jr.
Mm-hmm.
from Dudley, Georgia. And they had a real good law practice. And the first year we were there, I taught school at Cedar Grove in
Wow.
Lawrence County.
Mm-hmm.
And taught home economics. Had the best class I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
But anyway, thoroughly enjoyed that.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, listen, Miss Mary, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
We're so thankful for the legacy that you and your husband have left behind with your kids, the grandkids, and we're so thankful that you are a survivor in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
All right. This is Miss Mary Douglas, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have Miss Eleanor with us, a journalist. I know it's a little different for you now with the cameras on you as opposed to you writing so elegantly. So tell us a little bit about you, okay, Miss Eleanor?
Well, I started off at the newspaper, the newspaper, the Courier Herald. And
Oh my Lord! So you're a legend here.
No, not really. No, not in any way. But then another newspaper came up. It was the weekly newspaper, and I enjoyed that because I didn't have to do so much writing and go, with the camera and do all that business. And after that, I decided to go to back to the other. Yeah, that's about it, right.
Now, do you still like to write?
No, not anymore. That was just a job, Yeah. But,
Tell us about your family.
well, there's a bunch of us, and we stay on the road most of the time.
Do you really?
Yes.
I've got a big family too. I mean, do you enjoy having a big family like you have?
Well, no, only few at a time. I can't take it anymore. I'm too old. And I'm just telling you the truth.
Right.
It's like I look at my watch every few minutes. It's time to go now.
And that's understandably too. As we're sitting here, we've been having such a good time getting the opportunity to meet some of the ladies here at Addington Place, and you're finding out that they've got some wonderful personalities.
Yeah, well, we're very important people.
Yes.
The old agers.
We're at the VIP table right here with all these special ladies with us. And we were talking just about, about enjoying life.
Right.
How is it important for you at your age now to enjoy life?
Well, it's like I think everybody has the same thing to say at that, especially a mother. They're going to say, "Oh, I miss my children," and then the grandchildren come along, and then one of the other daughters comes in and says, "I have a surprise," another baby. So you know how that goes. One right after the other, and we do what we can.
Yeah. And so you're here. You're having a good time here today.
Oh yeah, I have a good time most anywhere if I'm with people.
And you seem to be a people person.
I am.
All right.
I am.
Well, listen, thank you for sharing with us. Anything you want the people out there to know about you?
Well, about the only thing I think I've ever enjoyed most is just living life and not push it ahead.
There you go.
Yes.
Keep living life.
Will do.
All right.
For
the
sure.
Beautiful Miss Eleanor Nicholson.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell. I want to say thank you to the community for allowing us to help you in your financial plans. If you're looking for a personal banker to assist you in meeting all your financial needs, then let me invite you to stop by our location on Bellevue Avenue in Dublin. You'll love our location, our services, and especially our people. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service-built, where common sense banking never goes out of style.